So today I'm going to be walking to a bay called Tea Tree Bay. I've shot there before, actually yesterday I shot there. I attempted to make a video, so this is actually take 2 of making a Noosa photography video, and yes, I am in Noosa at the moment. I'm just on holiday, but yeah, I've got about a 2.5 kilometre walk just along the boardwalk, which should be nice. Sunset is at about 5:30. It's currently 3:15. So yeah, I've got a bit of extra time, but I've only been to this location once and I actually ran it. I actually had quite a few different problems with compositions and stuff, so it should be good to switch knees to have a bit of extra time to finalize and complete those compositions. Oh, and something that I forgot to mention, this is actually going to be my first video with my new Sony A7iii. I shot with this pretty ruthlessly yesterday. I'm going to be giving it another go today. Now, the lens that I have on is my Nikon 24-70 f2.8, and with that I've also got an earth adapter, so it's an entirely manual lens. I can't see what aperture I'm on, which is really frustrating because I have to change it with the earth. And then also, as well as that, I don't have autofocus, which is okay. I normally use manual focus anyway, but it just means that I'm using the focusing diagram, the focusing assist on here quite a bit. I'm gonna get going to the location and I'll see you there. So I actually discovered Tea Tree Bay on a run that I did a couple of days ago. I generally find doing a run is a great way to find new locations for shoots. And on that run I actually discovered quite a few different ways of shooting this location and quite a few different other locations as well. There was this one tree that I noticed when I was on the run, and I actually shot that tree yesterday when I was on that shoot. But there were a few people in the scene, so they became blurred and then ghosted the photo, and it didn't look very nice, so I decided to go back today. But this tree, kind of leaning over a little bit, like it's about to fall over, and it points straight out to sea. Last time I shot there we had terrific light, just side lighting the tree. And then I noticed the tea tree is covered in rocks. There's rocks everywhere all along the shore, and it's great to get those rocks in a long exposure. It's safe to say I am excited about this shoot, and the light today, it's quite a bit more harsh than yesterday because we've got less clouds today, and I am worried about lens flare because I had quite a bit of lens flare yesterday, but hopefully it won't be too bad today. So it's just walking along towards the tree, and I've spotted another tree that's leaning even more. You know what, I might be able to create an image out of this one. Okay, so for this shot, I am going to be doing a long exposure, as always. Probably an extra long exposure, about 20-30 seconds. So I'll be chucking on my 10-stop and polarizer stacked on top of each other. But first, I need to work out all my settings, triple check my focus, because this is all manual. But I've got, I can see, yeah, it's so great because this camera has focus peaking. I've never had focus peaking in a camera before. Also for this photo, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to show you the back of my screen because it's so sunny. I can't even see the back of my screen at the moment. So I have to, I just have to look through my EVF, which I am loving. I'm loving the EVF so much. Having everything inside the EVF when it's super light and you can't see the screen, it's really helpful. So I'm going to get this focused, and look at that. Perfect focus, super quick with that focus peaking. So now that I've got that, I'll chuck this on. And what's so great about this camera is I could probably even focus in this light. I could probably even focus on that with my ND and polarizer. That's because any changes that you make to the settings in this, you see on the back of your screen. So I'm going to tick in my aperture, so I just go all the way to 2.8, then I just feel the tick, one tick, and then I move it a little bit more, and that's about F9, F8, I think. It's really sensitive. I'll check my ISO settings, ISO 50, that's all good. Also check my levels. My histogram is all good, all within the frame. I'm going to put on 2-second timer and take that photo. So clearly this photo didn't come out the way I had hoped. The composition is all wrong, the lighting is quite flat, and it's just not that appealing of an image. And not to mention on the right side of the image, we've got all that blur in the leaves. In hindsight, I should have probably foreseen this and gone and walked onto the other tree. It's just a bit of an amateur mistake, but it is what it is. So I think what I might attempt to do is a panorama. This is quite problematic because I don't have an L bracket on me, but that's already level all the way through, so that's perfect. I don't have an L bracket with me, which means I have to put it to the side like that. So the tripod is level all the way throughout what will be the panorama, so that's all good. So for this panorama, I'm pretty much going to go same setting. Just polarize the image by using the zebra lines that come with this to know when it's polarized properly. And now I'm going to take my first shot. So clearly this photo didn't work out either. Although I actually do like the composition and the lighting in it is really nice too. And I do like the amount of movement in the clouds as well. The tree, well, for one, it's not in the right spot in the frame, and it's got all that blurring in the leaves again. So at this point, I gave up on the tree and moved on to shooting some rocks. That's a really nice composition. So I'm just shooting the headland at the moment with all the waves. Nice long 15-second exposure, ISO 50, f11. So I spotted this composition while I was shooting the last panorama image, and I found it just really simple and calming, and that's why I like this composition. Yeah, I thought it came out nicely. So the next composition that I shot was a photo of the rocks. It was a nice long exposure, about 25 seconds. The reason why I'm doing a voiceover for this is because my explanation of the shot was so bad in video that it's not even worth including. So yeah, I was originally photographing a whole scene, but within the frame the sun was peeking through some trees and was a massive distraction. And so I decided to focus on a smaller scene within the scene that I was photographing before that. And it was this scene of some rocks with the water pouring over it, with the waves smashing over it. And yeah, I thought the photo came out nicely. I mean, it's not the best photo, but yeah, I like it. Okay, so I've moved down to the rocks. I don't think I'm going to be able to film much of this because I will be quite close to the water. But I'll set up some B-roll so that you guys can watch me take it, and I'll do some voiceover or something. Because I do need there are quite a few rogue waves. I'm going to go right down to pretty much the high tide mark. And I just don't want to put this camera at risk at the same time as putting my Sony at risk. So to start with, I didn't film anything, but later on I did actually film a bit of piece to camera explaining my composition and my settings and what filter I was using. So I'll just use that footage to explain my photos that I took. Alright, so I've actually swapped out my 10-stop ND and polarizer for my 3-stop circular polarizer plus... Yeah, so it's got a 3-stop ND and a circular polarizer in it. The photos I'm getting are just incredible. I'm so happy I came out. Yeah, these photos are so nice. I was shooting a lot with the 10-stop ND and the polarizer. And honestly, they were really, really nice. But I felt like it needed some detail when as the waves were coming out, or as the waves were coming in. And that's what I'm getting now. And it's got this really beautiful, just subtle, soft, smooth orange on the horizon from the horizon cloud. This filter is a Nissi 6-stop plus CPL, so it's got a 6-stop and a polarizer in one. So beautiful, lovely glass, lovely camera, lovely vibes, just so happy to be here. I am worried about those rocks a little bit because they're getting a bit dark. So maybe I'll do a 6-second. I want to continue capturing that detail in the waves, so I'm gonna actually bring it to 3.2, bring my ISO up by 2 stops. 1 stop from ISO 100 to ISO 200. Close up my aperture a little bit just to compensate. No, bring it open. Check my histogram. Histogram's good. I should be able to bring up the shadows a little bit actually. As long as I don't overexpose my highlights. So this is my composition here. We've got the rock here, then the sky as well. You can see the orange glow a little bit, if this will adjust over there. It's very subtle now, but to check the focus, I just double tap, move it up to the rock, and just adjust it until it's correct, and shoot. Sometimes I play around with the polarization as well, but I think I've got it pretty much down packed. So I actually think I'm going to finish this video up here. Oh, it's been such a wonderful shoot. I've shot so many nice photos. Just been sitting here literally for 10 minutes firing off the shutter, one after the other. And I'm so happy I came out today. Now it's 5:46. I've got to get home for dinner. I've got about a half-hour walk back to the house. But yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.